folks, welcome to IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Iran sanctions and economic crisis. First and foremost, as of now, your UN has imposed sanctions on Iran. Apart from your USA sanctions, your Russia and China tried to extend the extensions for another 6 months, but they failed because 9 other nations, including your Britain, France and USA, pushed and opposed this decision. Understanding? Now, if you are someone who is very much interested in order to know about your local news, national news, international news and geopolitical news, then subscribe to IAS Academy channel. Now, what is this new UN sanctions? First and foremost, you all know that recently Iran and Israel were engaged in a 12-day war. Yes. Aftermath of your Iran-Israel war, when we tell aftermath, it ended is because your US brought in your B-2 bunkers and it tried to hit the nuclear facilities, and it hit the nuclear facilities of Iran. After this, they wanted the UN watchdog of IAEA to allow inspection in Iran's nuclear facility. Okay, they wanted to allow your UN watchdog of IAEA to inspect the nuclear facility of Iran, which Iran did not agree for. This is what led to your UN's imposition of sanctions on Iran's nuclear program. Now, in this, if you see, there is UN sanctions, there is coupled with US sanctions, sanctions on sanctions on sanctions. This has also led to your European sanctions. How is the situation of Iran as of now? If you see, it has entered into huge amount of unemployment, inflation, coupled with, especially after UN sanction, water shortages and power shortages. This has hit very largely to the Iranians. That is, the civilian have felt the brunt of this. Now, how is this seen from your European community, with respect to your Iranian community, with respect to your UN, with respect to US? How is this seen? We will be dissecting it. First and foremost, we will take a small background with regarding to your Iran's nuclear deal. In 2015, a nuclear deal, Iran nuclear deal, otherwise JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, was brokered in by your P5+1, permanent 5, being your USA, UK, France, China, Russia and Germany. All of them brokered under your US President Barack Obama, and they brought in JCPOA, that is 2015 Iran nuclear deal, wherein they will lift the sanctions. Listen to this very carefully. They will lift the sanctions on Iran for nuclear enrichment if Iran continues, or if Iran starts to restrict its nuclear enrichment, or if Iran stops its nuclear enhancement or nuclear program. Fine, this was reached. Then what happened? This is the background. Now let me come to the present day scenario. Your Iran's head of state, when asked, what do you think you will do now? Your US has imposed sanctions, UN has imposed sanctions. Your Iranian president has held that, see, first and foremost, we will convene back. We will call all the officials. We will discuss with them the further course of action. First thing. Second thing, they have also called this UN sanctions as unreasonable. When asked, why do you think the UN sanctions are unreasonable, they said one of the reasons we went for nuclear enrichment is because your USA exited the JCPOA deal in 2018. Unilaterally it ended. How can a single country just end like that? All the years of hard work went down the drain. Even though Iran was strictly adhering to its limit, USA pulled out. And once USA pulled out because of its pressure from the Western neighbors, the EU also stopped its efforts. So if anything, technically, the US and your EU members are the ones who exited. And because of that, we started the enrichment. The enrichment now, if you see, the enrichment is from 3.5% to 60% and also 4 kgs, that is 4 kilograms of materials. With this, if Iran decides to use it to weaponize it, it can create a lot more of nuclear weapons. When asked, the Iranian president has held that, again, why is it coming as a surprise that Iran wants to build nuclear bombs or weapons? If at all we try to do it, is only strictly for our civilian purposes. And it has also told that there was a snapback mechanism in the deal as to if Iran continues to not enrich further its nuclear program, then it will be going ahead, let's say up until October. If it has gone up until that point of time without enriching, then that would mean that sanctions will end there. But Europe has brought back, that is, it had brought the snapback mechanism to 2025, which means in any point of time, if Iran did not go through its course of more specifically, if I tell you, if Iran continues to violate its restriction on nuclear program, then there is something called a snapback mechanism, which means it will automatically trigger the sanctions. Understanding? This Europe had bought that snapback mechanism, and this again reimposed the UN sanctions. What are the new UN sanctions? If you see, first thing is freezing of assets, ban on travel for Iranian entities, the cargoes, especially your Iranian vehicles and vessels, including oil tankers, will be checked for, and also a total ban on uranium enrichment. Coupled with that, there is a ban on your ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads, and there is to reinstate your arms embargo. Again, to all of this, if you see how is Iran's reaction, Iranian president called this sanctions as unjust and illegal. In fact, he tells that it is because of your West, Iran had to do what it had to do, and it has also asked, what would you do if you were in that position? And also ambassadors have been recalled from France, Britain and Germany to decide the further course of action. The hardliners in Iran are asking to exit from nuclear non-proliferation treaty, but the president of Iran, who is a moderate, has declined that thing, and he has even rejected such withdrawal. Now if you see, the economic fallout because of such an action is your real has collapsed to your US dollars in black market, and this has brought about a lot of your budget deficit coupled with corruption, mismanagement, and people in the civilians facing your power cuts, water shortages, right? Alongside it, the inflation rate has raised up to 40%. Understanding? Before continuing further, now if you're someone who wants to kickstart your UPSC civil service journey, look no further. You have found the right spot with Lexi IAS Academy, which maintains its batch size at 40 members per batch, so as to provide you individualized training and personalized attention. We also offer one-on-one mentorship, easy access to the educators. Lexi IAS Academy also offers you daily mains answer writing challenge, prelims mock test series, interview mock test panel. We at Lexi IAS Academy also offer our courses in both online as well as offline mode. For those of you who are working professionals and students, we offer the courses in weekend courses also. To see how the classes are, you can schedule a demo class either online or offline. For more details, you can contact the number given or check out Lexi IAS Academy website. Now, if you see how is the geopolitical dimension or geopolitics reacting to this, Europe ka demand is simple. allow your IAEA inspectors, reveal your 4,000 kilograms of uranium stockpile, and restart the talks with US. For this, Iran is agreeing for, see, I will allow IAEA inspectors to come in. Okay, I am ready to restart the talks with US. But the issue is US President Donald Trump has told completely hand over the uranium stockpile. And that too for what? 3 months suspension of UN sanctions. That is not negotiable. That is not fair is what your Iranians are claiming. Another thing is with respect to the international aspect, if you see, Russia and China tried to delay the sanctions, but again they were faced with 9 opposing countries. And another thing, if you see, pretty much your Russia and China will still try to engage with Iran. How? For example, all the Iran drones are used by Russia in war against your Ukraine. Your China is the biggest market for your Iran's oil. So somewhere that is keeping the government afloat. So there is going to be continued trade partnership with Russia and Iran and China and Iran, where China buys the oil at a discount of 20%. If you see with respect to regional security, Iran and Israel conflict has been going on just with the ending of your US entry and your B-2B bombers. US airstrikes have damaged 3 nuclear sites, and also this the fresh sanctions on Iran may push Iran towards your Russia and China bloc. So there is a rising fears in the region of your, let's say, what would be happening or the uncertainty. How would it impact India? First and foremost, oil imports. Again, we can't because of the sanctions imposed. Another main thing is your Chabahar port, which the project will face delays, and this would be a huge deal for India for having regional connectivity with our Central Asian and South Asian partners. Another is higher oil prices will impact Indian economy, and this affects our relationship with our US, Europe neighbors on one side and Russia and China on the other side. With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.